Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about tonal languages. Tonal languages are languages where variations in pitch are used to distinguish between words that would otherwise sound the same. Most tonal languages are found in Southeast Asia, Mandarin Chinese being the most well-known example, and in sub-Saharan Africa, though they're not limited to those regions. In fact, out of the roughly 7,000 languages spoken worldwide, over half are tonal. It's important not to confuse tone with intonation, as seen in English, where emphasis on different words can change the meaning of a sentence. For example, in the phrase, "we are the people," if I say "we are the people," the emphasis is on we, answering "who are the people?" We are. If I say "we are the people," the emphasis is on are, reinforcing the identity, we are the people. Tone is also different from stress accent, which exists in English as well, like the difference between a record, which is a noun, and to record, which is a verb. While pitch can be part of the stress, it doesn't fully explain it. And tone isn't quite the same as pitch accent either, like what you find in Japanese or Norwegian. Though similar, pitch accent typically highlights one syllable in a word, more like stress. For instance, in Japanese, hashi means bridge, and hashi means chopsticks. It's also worth noting that just because two neighboring languages have tones doesn't mean they're related. Tone isn't a defining feature of a language family. In fact, within every language family that includes tonal languages, you'll also find non-tonal ones. Sometimes, tonal languages are actually more of an exception in their family. So what exactly is a tone? It's a pitch modulation used when pronouncing a syllable. In Mandarin Chinese, ma without tone markings can mean many things. Tones are used to clarify. Ma with a high level tone means mother. Ma with a rising tone means hemp. Ma with a falling rising tone means horse. Ma with a falling tone means to scold. So Mandarin has 4 tones, not counting the neutral tone. At minimum, a tonal language needs 2 tones, but some can have up to 10. For example, Kham, a language in the same broader family as Thai, has 9 tones. In most tonal languages, especially in Asia, tone serves to distinguish between different words, but in some languages, tone also marks grammatical features like verb tense or mood. Tones can be level tones, a steady high or low pitch, like Mandarin's first tone ma being a high pitch, or contour tones, which involve pitch movement, for example, a falling tone like ma, or a rising tone like ma, or a more complex one like ma, which dips then rises. To make things even more complex, the realization of a tone can vary depending on its position in a phrase, its grammatical category, or the tones around it. That's the case in Minnan, for instance. Without getting too technical, the word wa, meaning I, me, can be pronounced with a high tone wa in wa shi pigok lang, I'm American, but also with a falling tone wa in I kai wa, he likes me. In the International Phonetic Alphabet, the IPA, tones are marked with vertical bars and horizontal lines. High tones are marked near the top of the vertical line and low tones near the bottom. Outside of IPA, tones may be marked with diacritics on numbers, each representing a specific tone. Of course, the problem is that in each language, the symbol corresponds to different tones depending on the language tradition. A hybrid method uses a sequence of numbers from 1 to 5, where 1 is low and 5 is high to describe the tone's contour, though a few linguists tend to prefer the first method to avoid any number ambiguity. Interestingly, the more complex a language's syllable structure, the less likely it is to be tonal. So English is of course less likely to be tonal than Mandarin, because for example in a syllable, you can do consonant clusters like in Welsh or tree, which is not possible in Mandarin. So how do tones emerge in a language? Because yes, tones can develop over time. For example, it's believed that Vietnamese and Chinese were originally non-tonal. The emergence of tones is called tonogenesis. This usually happens when some consonants are lost in syllables, resulting in homophones. To resolve this ambiguity, speakers unconsciously begin to distinguish these words using pitch. It's important to understand that this process isn't deliberate. Speakers don't just wake up one day and decide to invent tones. It unfolds gradually over generations. Let's return to our ma example, using reconstructed Old Chinese forms from the Zhengzheng reconstruction. Ma, mral, mra, mras. Most scholars agree that Old Chinese didn't have tones, and as you can see back then the words were much more distinct. But as sounds like final consonants disappeared, and the cluster mr merged into a simple sound, they became homophones in modern Mandarin, all pronounced as ma, so tones evolved to compensate for those lost distinctions. Tones highlight how refined and intricate languages can be. What might seem like a subtle feature of prosody is actually a cornerstone of meaning. Tonal languages remind us that there are many ways to structure thought and communication, and that sometimes just a small pitch shift can change everything. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to suggest topics in the comments. And also let me know if you speak a tonal language, and if so, which one. See ya!